Hi YouTube, I can't believe it, but it's time for my September favourites review as we're very nearly at the end of September, and I'm kind of holding off doing my empties review, to be truthful, because I have so many products that are nearly but not quite empty, and I don't want to cheat. I do want to finish them off, but I want to put them in my September empties. So I'm doing my favourites a couple of days earlier to leave the empties right till the end of September. I'm sorry to say that most of my favourites this month will either be quite high-end products, and I know it's a bad idea to try and encourage people to spend a lot of money, and I include myself mostly in that. So they're either quite high-end products, or they are products that are not available in the form that I'm going to show them, because I've had them for quite a long time and they've been seasonal specials that I've brought out again and been really enjoying using. But I will say, I think that in respect of most of those products, you can get something very similar, or the brand is still available. So that's what I've kind of chosen to do. Hands down, my favourite product this September is one I've talked about in my Chanel haul and Chanel reviews, and it's the single eyeshadow, the soft touch eyeshadow in the shade Gris. It's a really expensive favourite to have, because I believe these shadows are £22, which is a lot of money, I think, for a single shadow, when you can buy, palettes for that price with lots of variety in them, or you can buy several perfectly serviceable single eyeshadows in Superdrug from one of the good high street brands. But there is something really special about Chanel products. I am conscious that a big part of it is the gorgeous packaging. But I will say this is a really impressive eyeshadow, because I've not been a huge fan of Chanel eyeshadows before now. I do like their Illusion d'Ombre, although I've had issues with them drying out that I've talked about. I have no other single eyeshadows, because in the past I've simply refused to pay that price for a single shadow. And frankly, although the packaging is absolutely gorgeous, it's quite clunky, really, to take in your makeup bag. To take up that much room for one colour seems to me very often a waste. And I have found in the palettes, the English or European formula for their quads, the baked formula, in other words, is not one that I'm particularly a fan of. I won't say that they're terrible shadows. They're not. They shouldn't be at the price they are. But I personally don't like their consistency generally as much as Dior or Burberry of the high end, or Tom Ford, who is in a class of his own, really. Well, that's not quite fair. I think Burberry are as well, but they're very different from Tom Ford. I like a really silky, soft shadow, without any grit or powderiness. And I do find that the Chanel shadows can be quite powdery. There is an element of that even in this one, but the effect is just so gorgeous. It's a really beautiful taupe. My camera work can't do justice to its complexity and how flattering it is to the eye. Now, what I've really been enjoying doing, there it's just stroked on as a colour wash, is layering it over, for example, Chanel Illusion d'Ombre in Epatante, which is a much silverier, greener shade, but with my Chanel shadow packed on over the top. The Epatante just packs a bit more sheen to it, Or I've also used it with a Mally product, one of these eyeshadow sticks. I do have a taupey one which I use it with, or I use it with this green, which gives me a much deeper colour, holds the Chanel shadow really well instead of a primer, and again gives a really pretty effect. So I've been using it with lots of different bases, and I find that particularly with the base, I don't need any other colours because somehow the dimensions of it look different on the lid, to the crease, to the brow bone. So you really can get some fantastic effects just with this one shadow. So far and away my favourite product of this month. But I have also been very much liking, and I've spoken about this, the Extreme mascara. Is it Extreme? Le Volume de Chanel in the limited edition khaki bronze colour. I found it a very effective mascara, unusually for me. And also with that eye, I've been using a MAC pencil. I wanted to get a khaki eyelining pencil. I passed on the Chanel limited edition one, although I have gone back to try and get it a few times, and it's been sold out in the stores I've gone to. So I'm regretting that a little bit, not too much. But this MAC pencil in Forever Green from the PowerPoint eye pencils does pretty well with that colour scheme. It's just a bit too olivey. I'd really like the more sort of khaki bronze to go with that autumn eye look. The other autumn eye that I've been doing is with an old palette that I've dug out. It's from Laura Mercier. It was their fall face collection, I think from 2 years ago, 2011, maybe even 2010. And you can see the palette's still going strong, although I've used it quite a lot. They're very ordinary in the face of it, autumnal shades, but very, very flattering. You can make a lot of good looks from the eyeshadows over a nice base. And there are two nice cheek colours with a little bit of shimmer in. I particularly like this slightly more russety one for this time of year. And then there are some lip glosses as well. And I guess using this palette, which is just very convenient to have everything you need in one palette in the morning if you're in a rush, or to put in your handbag, is it's reminded me Laura Mercier isn't the most exciting makeup brand in the world. I've used a lot of her products over the years. Her foundations, concealers, primers, eye primers, frankly, you know, they're up there with the very best. I used her foundation for years, repurchasing again and again, and her tinted moisturiser I still use, and I would recommend them to anyone, really. They're a really good, safe brand. Maybe not such exciting colours, although I have to say the current fall collection, the shimmer powder that I've showed you, and the nail polishes, which I haven't got but I've looked at a few times, are really, really nice and up there with the best kind of on-trend colour marketing. But as a really safe, professional, basics, high-end but not right up at the very top of the price range, you can't go wrong, in my view, with Laura Mercier. I don't think I've had any product of hers that I haven't liked, although some of them I think are stronger than others. So I'm enjoying using that again. NARS is another one. I'm one of the few people who don't really like the NARS packaging. I think it looks really gungy very quickly, but I do like the multiple sticks, and I've been pulling out this one, which, you know, I've done quite well on given how long it takes me. I think this particular shade on Tube may have been discontinued. Again, I'm enjoying it at this time of year because it's not too powerful, but it's a slightly pinky plummy shade, which I think looks good in autumn. One product that is available on the Chanel counters still is this Rouge Cocoa Shine in Fiction, which I think was part of the paparazzi or cinema range, whatever they called it, that they released between spring and summer collections. And I bought it then on the recommendation of the sales assistant in the shop I went into. I was actually looking for a peachy summer lipstick, which I didn't get because I ended up getting this that the sales assistant, who is a very glamorous young woman of colour, was wearing. It looked fantastic on her lips. I was a bit dubious, obviously, because of our very different colouring. I'm very fair-skinned, that it would look good, but she convinced me. Now, I didn't wear it a lot in the summer because you can see it's quite a strong plummy shade with a lot of almost little sort of gold flecks in it that aren't showing up too much, which look particularly attractive on her lips, don't show up as much on fair skin. But this colour's really coming into its own now in the fall, and if you like a bit of colour with the more sort of glossy texture that the Rouge Cocoa Shines give, they're pretty long lasting for a glossy moisturising look rather than a matte one. I do recommend, and you can still get this colour. There are lots of lovely colours in the range. I've started using my Chanel concealer, which I bought quite a long time ago, didn't use because I got into others, and I'm really liking it. I find concealers, liquid concealers, difficult. I've had a few blemishes recently, which is unusual for me. This one deals very well with those as opposed to under eye circles, which I always have and find my Bobbi Brown duo better for. But this really works on larger facial areas, and what I like about it is it stays put, whereas I find a lot of concealers wear off during the day, even if I've put a finishing powder over. So it's interesting. I'm also sort of alternating this with a Maybelline liquid concealer, which comes in a tube just like this, slightly less product, a lot less expensive. The look is quite similar when they're applied, but boy, does this one last better. So interesting. I'll talk maybe more about that when I've given them a fairer chance against each other. But this has been a rediscovered favourite this month. It's called the Perfection Concealer. Mine shade is number 31, which is a trifle too dark, to be honest, but is okay. So those are my favourites for September. Let me know if you like this or would like any more information about any of the products. And I'll see you soon for empties. Bye for now.